Hey Virgo, can you believe it's already going to be July? It's going quick. Going quick. Well, I have your spread ready for you. And we're going to get some overall advice, some guidance from our spirit guides, a couple of cards on your work, career, and finance, as well as love and relationships and your spirit animal. So let's get started, shall we? From the affirmations deck, we have perseverance and inspiration. I'm going to start with perseverance. And as I was meditating on your guys' cards and just looking at the overall colors and the imagery, this TV show came to mind. Have you ever watched The Biggest Loser? No, Virgo, calm your tits. I'm not calling you a loser. But what I'm getting at is, if you have ever seen The Biggest Loser, it's like the contestants who are trying to lose the most weight. They don't try to hide how painful or miserable or how hard the journey is. But instead, they bitch and they moan and they cry and they puke. They come really close to quitting, but they don't. Most of them, anyhow. And that's essentially what perseverance is. You do what you gotta do, but you keep going. You overcome. You hike up your cheerleader skirt. You fluff up your pom-poms. You put on your big girl panties. Once you have that mindset that you're gonna do something, you're gonna do whatever it takes to get it done. And I think this month, it might require you to have that mindset, but damn, the outcome is going to be good. So rewarding. So rewarding. With inspiration. Do any of you guys have that voice of inspiration? It's like the world's greatest motivational speaker when you lay in bed at night. Like, tomorrow's the day. I'm gonna do this. Like, no more fucking around. This is it. It's gonna happen. Tomorrow, it's gonna happen. It's gonna be the big day. Got this. Get all of it planned out. And then you wake up and you're like, fuck that. Nope, just kidding. Maybe tomorrow. And it's just like a little whisper then. It's like, where did that world-class motivational speaker go? Like, did he run and hide while I was sleeping? Like, what the actual? And this card reminds you that sometimes our inspirations can be as strong as the world's greatest motivational speaker, and sometimes they can be nothing but a small whisper. But the important part is that you realize it, that you are noticing it, that you're hearing it. It doesn't matter how loud it is. If you're willing to persevere, your inspiration can be nothing but a whisper. At least it's still there. With your spirit guides, they have 2 cards for you from the Native Spirit deck, and that is Vision Quest and Grandmother Earth. Isn't it crazy how when you set those 2 cards side by side, it's almost like the skyline is lining up perfectly, isn't it? Like, they don't necessarily have anything else in common, One is rolling hills of flowers and abundance, and one is this dry, desolate, kind of looks like something out of Arizona or Utah. It's just barren. But the skyline is almost perfectly lined up. Do you think maybe the left side, the vision quest, is your small whisper? And then you put perseverance in between the middle of those two cards, and you come out on the other end with rolling hills of flowers and abundance? Maybe. So with the vision quest card, sometimes if you really genuinely want to find yourself, you first have to get lost. I mean, that's not just a saying, like you have to get lost in order to find yourself. It's very true. Most of the time we're already lost and we didn't realize it. I mean, going back to The Biggest Loser, that's why they don't allow their friends and their family to be right there by their side, because then that's still that security blanket. You're not willing to really remove yourself from the distractions and the lies that you live and the mask that you hide behind. So remove yourself from those distractions and take a step back. Withdraw. Know that your inner guidance is growing, and you will soon be able to hear the answers that you seek. Like very soon. But sometimes it takes solitude. It takes silence. You can't hear a whisper at a rock concert. But if you're sitting in silence, you could hear a whisper. Figure out who you are. What your sole purpose is in this world. What is it that's going to fulfill you and bring those rolling hills of flowers? Because the time has come. The change has to take place. You can't continue to live in this barren, desert-looking, desolate environment. You're dehydrated. You're gonna be the worm on the sidewalk pretty soon that's just all crunchy and dead and laying there, not moving. Succumb to the circumstances of your environment. Grandmother Earth. When you look at that card, not to mention the purples and the pinks and everything, but it just feels like love. Feels like support. Like if you laid in that bed of flowers right there on that hill, you probably have quite a bit surrounding you. That's why they say laying in a bed of roses, not on a desolate desert floor. Just like the roots of a tree. You can't see all of the roots, but you have to trust that they're there because the tree hasn't fallen over. So your abundance, your blessings, they're there because you're still here. You have to get grounded. You have to know who you are before you can really offer your true passionate self to the world. Don't be so hasty or careless or nonchalant. Get your head on straight and then get it in the game. In your work, career, and finance, you have 2 cards there, and they are the Six of Swords and the Emperor. So the Emperor is card 4. And then obviously the 6 of Swords. 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 is like the end of a cycle, right? So what cycle do you need to end? What cycle have you been working so hard on or been ignoring so much? What needs to clear? Those contestants on The Biggest Loser, they lose more than just the weight. They shed years of guilt and resentment, judgment, hate, depression, pain, heartache, abandonment, feeling like they're not good enough. That's why they go to this show, is because they are so sick of feeling like they are trapped, like they're chained down by all of these burdens. If it was just the weight that they wanted to lose, they'd go get their stomach stapled. And I'm not dogging on anybody that's had that done. That's fine. If that's the route that worked the best and you are happy, fucking thumbs up. Great. Congratulations. Good for you. But I'm saying for these contestants, they knew that they had so much more. Maybe they had never been able to be proud of themselves. And they seen this as an opportunity. And it's scary. We all live in self-imposed limitations at one time or another. So, instead of living in your self-imposed limitations, you see how the guy on the Six of Swords, he is looking out into the future. He's looking out across the ocean. He's looking at where he wants to be. He's not looking down at where he's standing. He is not looking at his past. And sure, he's got all of these swords in front of him, but he's not focused on them. He's still keeping his eye on the future. He's keeping his eye on his goal, where he wants to be. Take the trip. Take a breath. Regroup. You owe it to yourself to not focus on the swords and keep your eye on the prize. You got this. The Emperor. Who's someone you really, really, really look up to? Why? Why do you look up to him? Do they have integrity? Do they keep their word? Do they inadvertently teach you something almost every time they open their mouth? Maybe the guy in the Six of Swords, being much younger than the Emperor, maybe he's looking to the Emperor. Maybe that's who he wants to be. How do you get there? By letting all those swords stand in the way? Or do you realize that you can remove the swords? Maybe you can walk around the swords. Maybe you can take the swords and chuck them out into the ocean and say, "C'est la vie, hasta la vista." Maybe those swords have an expiration date and they're pretty fucking outdated. Be the Emperor. Work towards whoever you want to be. And don't let your obstacles get in the way, because chances are you're probably mostly in your head. With love and romantic relationships, you guys have new beginnings, an angel of miracles. If that isn't like some fucking puppies and kittens and rainbows and unicorns and stuff. Like, woohoo! Finally, Virgo. All of these months that you've been strapped onto that dreadful emotional roller coaster with like the unlimited ride wristband is done. You decided to take one of those swords and cut your wristband off and say, "Hey, I am not riding this emotional roller coaster anymore. I'm not doing it. I've already puked. I've puked on myself. I've puked on others. I'm literally sick of it. all this hard work that you've put into yourself, all of this work that you've done on yourself, you are about to attract a divinely orchestrated love connection. Like, holy shit. That is exciting, Virgo. Can you feel that excitement build up in you? Just sit for a moment and just sit in the feeling that you know this is coming. Push away the doubt. Push away the yeah, whatever. You're like, oh, I'm already in one. Okay, great. Maybe there's a new beginning in that. Maybe there's a next step. Maybe you're moving in together. Maybe you're getting engaged. Maybe you're going to have a baby. Maybe you're going to go on a trip and rediscover yourself and figure out why you two fell in love to begin with. Maybe it's gotten a little stale. Maybe you've had an emotional roller coaster in that relationship. Whatever the case may be, there's a new beginning, and new is always exciting. Sure, it's scary, but it is exciting. Remember when you were a kid and you'd be all excited to go school clothes shopping because you got to put on all these new things? And it kind of made you feel like a little confident, or it was almost like your new backpack meant like a new year, new you. You're going school shopping, Virgo. Whoop whoop. For all of you who are like, yeah, what the fuck ever. For you guys, you get the Angel of Miracles card, because you get to open your heart and expect a miracle. Because your angels, they're sending you signs. They have so much love and support, and they genuinely want to see you happy. In love, in life. And they're going to show you how much you can trust them. You can trust in their divine timing. They're going to deliver more than you could ever imagine. In your wildest dreams, they're going to deliver. As long as you believe and you push out all of those swords and you have positive thoughts and you're willing to persevere. So if you're just about to give up, hang on for one more day. You never know what is going to happen in one more day. Even if the road seems way too long and troubled, and you literally are so close to being that worm on the sidewalk, hang on for one more day. You never know what miracle could happen the very next day. Your spirit animal, the parrot. So you've all seen the videos of where people can get their parrots to say all sorts of different, little phrases and everything. So sure, parrots can be trained to say things. However, there's also the videos of the parrots who have a mind of their own, per se. Their owner walks in and they're like, hey, asshole. Like, oh, so you do know the context of the words. You do know how to use the language. You do know how to change your tone depending on what word you're using. That's the same for you, Virgo. Be mindful of the tone, how you deliver a message. We have that ability to adjust our tone, adjust our mindset, infuse it with love, compassion. So rather than annoyance and anger and frustration and doubt and fear, infuse love and compassion and faith and hopefulness into your future, and your angels are going to deliver. You guys have a fucking amazing July. I am so happy for you, Virgo. So happy. You guys deserve this. So happy. Please let me know. I want to hear how this all plays out for you. I really do. Please leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys again in August. I'm sure I will do a couple of videos here and there in between. You guys have a lovely month, and congratulations!